family member has been living with my mom/grandma for years, contributing nothing. This is a throwaway account and I apologize, this might be long. I have an uncle who means absolutely nothing to me. He's almost 40 years old and has lived with my mom and grandma for longer than I was born. I had the worst relationship with him when I lived with them, and now I could care less if he existed even after moving out. I moved out at 18 and it was the best decision ever made. I love my family, but he is dragging them down. Before I moved out, he had already been jobless for a couple of years and stopped contributing absolutely anything to my mom and grandma. Before I left, I begged my mom and grandma to kick him out, as he's not helping out with any bills, food, and is honestly a leech. My grandma, of course, could never kick out her own son and is too kind to do much about it despite me pleading. There's a lot more that deems him an absolutely useless human being, but that could be turned into a book if I tried explaining it. Yesterday, I stopped by to visit my family since my grandpa had just passed away, and I just wanted to be near family. Well, I ended up walking into my grandma and him arguing about how my uncle would not give up the room, which is the second biggest room in the house, to my sister, her baby, and the dad, and that since my grandpa just passed, that she could take up the tiny space he had. And he also threw in that he never loved his dad, my grandpa, anyways. I was fuming. I couldn't even hold back. I walked in and started berating him, telling him he doesn't have a say if he isn't contributing jack shit, and that every electronic he uses, every piece of furniture he had in that room, he didn't put a dime into. He said he didn't give a crap and that he wasn't going anywhere, that this was his home. He also told me that if I cared so much, why didn't my sister and her family move in with me? I told him I have my reasons and that I didn't have to disclose those reasons to him. It's because I wouldn't have enough space for her and her family, and I have 4 animals that could be a lot on them since they haven't been around people too much. And he continued to throw insults as I shut the door on him. I won't lie, I was pretty close to decking him in the face, but I knew the consequences that followed wouldn't be worth that risk. So after that heated moment, I left home. I also ended up taking my little brother home with me to spend the night since his biological father was giving him a hard time and was afraid to even be at home with my mom. That is a whole other family ordeal that I won't get into. I vented to my husband about everything, and he knows my family is pretty much a circus and how they stress me out a lot. My husband is mostly supportive about everything, and of course suggested I get the police involved if it seriously bothered me. I'd love to get the police involved, I really do. But 1, I don't live with them anymore, so for me to call on their behalf wouldn't do much. It would have to be my mom or grandma to do it. And 2, I'm not entirely sure if my uncle falls under squatter rights. He doesn't pay anything, hasn't had a job for probably about 9 years now, and he will definitely get hostile claiming that that is his home. He's gotten hostile with my mom, grandma, and siblings before. Who's to say he wouldn't try that again? And knowing my family, they try very little to get the police involved. He has gone to jail before for getting violent with my sister's baby daddy, but my grandma unfortunately bailed him out as it broke her heart to see her son in there. The case was dropped shortly after because my sister's baby daddy never followed up in court, so all charges were dropped, and he continues to live his hobo life. I wanted to say something when that happened, but it ultimately wasn't my place. Since I'm the oldest child and grandchild, my family puts a lot of responsibility onto me when shit hits the fan, and it's been that way my entire life. My husband knows this, and he always tells me I need to do what's best for me because I'm living my own life now and I can't always be at their beck and call. And situations like this unfortunately make me feel like I have to do something to make things right. But this time I really don't know what to do or if I can even do anything. So I guess I'm kind of looking for advice, as well as venting.